Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again, and today we're going to be talking about Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme. So stay tuned for that. And if you like the content, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. I really do appreciate it. Zaharoff Signature has been talked about a lot recently, and this is one I definitely wanted to get my nose on to see if I also enjoyed it as much as a lot of other people in the community. And fortunately, there was actually a free sample available, so I got this one sent to me for no cost, and it was really awesome. A lot of people do talk about Zaharoff's personal touches that he puts into his work, and I will say that is definitely true. You can see here, he did actually write on that, so he did sign that personally, just to say, you know, best wishes, and that's a nice touch. I think it's a really nice touch. Creating a sort of personal dimension to your company certainly helps grow it. So, anyways, into the fragrance. This one has notes of oud, sandalwood, patchouli, rose, myrrh, jasmine, vetiver, incense, vanilla, lavender, black pepper, and cypress. So in the opening, this one does have a pretty big dose of lavender, and there is some sweetness in the back there. And it does actually open up very familiar. So some people have definitely described this as one with a bit of a retro touch to it, and I absolutely agree there. This one definitely does have that retro feel quite strong in the opening, but it doesn't come off particularly or too dated, but it does definitely give you the sense of something that is a little bit more classic than modern. So with that heavy lavender, this one does definitely come off a little bit like a barbershop fragrance. There's a little bit of sweetness in there, and I will say to me, the sweetness actually comes off a little bit candied. So it is really nice how it has this nice balance between the sweet and the lavender, which blends really well together. I get only a touch, only a very hint of the rose in this one, but altogether this is a really fresh and very luxurious smelling fragrance. So I would say this one does open up nicely, and it does have definitely a classy, luxurious feel. In the opening, I don't actually get any of the oud, and I get also, I should mention, a little bit of soapiness. Not sure where exactly that's coming from. Now, I was pleasantly surprised by the dry down because I felt like in the mid, this one kind of just stood still and didn't do much to really impress me or really give me that wow factor. But in the dry down, this one does actually get also very nice. That spiciness starts to come out a lot more, and the oud starts to come out a little bit more too. And it's not really skanky, it's just a little pungent, so it has this woodiness, and it definitely has a little bit of punch behind it that gives you the impression or makes you aware that what you're smelling is oud. So it does have this very nice peppery, spicy oudiness also in the dry down. Now that does come across as fairly clean, so I think the soapiness is sort of playing into that in some respect, and it's not coming off at this point too much as soapy as it did in the opening, as more of just generally a sort of clean, masculine, spicy, woody smell. I also get a little bit of the sweetness in the dry down, and the incense is still there a little bit, which does give it a nice touch of a smoky, woody vibe, which actually does smell fairly unique and has a nice modern touch to it. So while to my nose the opening does feel more retro and more classic, the dry down definitely has a more modern touch to it that definitely makes it smell fresh, clean, and new, and a little bit exciting too. So I was very, very happy with the dry down on this one. I think it does smell fantastic. So the performance on this one also is quite good. So this on my skin is not a beast mode projector, but it is nice. It does create a nice scent cloud in my general area. Has a nice sillage trail as well. And that does last for about 2 or 3 hours. Doesn't really die down directly to a skin scent. That takes, 4 or 5 hours. And the total longevity I got between 7 and 8 hours. So this one does perform very well, and it has a very nice, refined, classy feel to it that definitely does make this fragrance seem as though it is more expensive than it is. Now, it is slightly on the expensive side, since I think Zaharoff is technically a designer, so this is definitely the higher end. I think 2 ounces is around $90 or something, which is definitely on the higher end of the designer level. But if you want something that's a little bit classy, a little bit luxurious smelling, definitely something you can wear to the office, you can wear to formal occasions, and could definitely be a signature scent. I think this is one you should at least get your nose on because it is nice. The one complaint, because I feel like I need to complain about something, I don't want to just be too positive about anything. The one complaint, I don't really like the presentation. I like the color of the juice, but the bottle itself is not, to my personal taste. I don't like the presentation on this particular fragrance. But that being said, the most important thing is always going to be the juice, and this smells really, really good. And for what I think should be classed as a high-end designer, I think it fits the bill. So it is definitely a little bit more expensive than a lot of fragrances, but it's one that is easy to wear, has versatility, has class and luxury behind it, and definitely can be worn to formal events as well. And it is very pleasing. So I think you should get your nose on it, decide if you like it, because it could certainly be worth the price to you. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Have you tried Zaharoff Signature Pour Homme? Leave a comment down below, tell me what you thought, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.